Welcome back, Hive Mind. This is Shalazar with Hive Mind Gaming with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Currently, we're going to go over what's happened since last we met. One, the tournament has ended the for Arena, so we're just going to collect our rewards. So we got a cool divine set. Basically what the divine sets do, as you can see up here, it's divine speed. It's the exact same as the regular speed, which is plus 12% speed with a two-piece set. But on top of that, the divine set adds a 15% hit point shield for 3 turns every time you go into the next level of a dungeon. So we want to keep that one. And then here is a divine crit rate. So it's same thing. It's a crit rate, which is gives you the crit rate at plus 12% with 15% shield. And then we've got a divine speed helm, which does all that. And what was that? 4%. Nice. Okay, so we'll keep those. And then we also got the 5 gems as well. So once we click through our clickbait pop-up ads here, Jeebus, feels like I'm watching a Raid Shadow Legends video here. Alright, so we did get a few more rewards there. And then now that we've collected our shaman, we now get the next set of new player rewards, which is going to end up getting us Jizzo, which is a lizardman epic. So, and he is a defense type epic. So we'll take a look at him in a few more days. We did managed to hit number 1 in one of our tournaments. So let's go ahead and pull that up. And as what we do with all of our tournaments, we sit and wait for it to pop up. Oh, okay. No, never mind. It hasn't ended yet. It has 4 more hours before that ends. And we should still be number 1 on this. Yes. All right, we're still number 1 on that. Doesn't look like anyone's. We grinded that out. I grinded that out a little bit last night, just because we needed gear. Let's go ahead and buy something there. We have collected 5 blue gems, either through completing quests and or as rewards from grinding the dungeons. So let's see. Alright, clear stage 7 of the Catacombs of Narbuk on normal. We did that, so we're going to collect that. That's going to give us the next one, upgrade a rare attack type champion skill with a skill tome. So what we're going to do, we're going to go in here. By the way, we did pull a new rare, which was this young man here. So we actually really like him. We'll go over his stuff shortly. But the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and complete this quest here. So let's go out. So we're going to get a refill on our arena and some more silver. Then get a referral link. So all we're going to do here is we're going to go to referral program. This is going to pop up and it's going to get referral link. We're going to click on that and that's going to give us our reward. So that's going to give us gems and silver. Then the next one is fight in the classic arena 3 times. Now the reason that says classic arena, because our tag team arena went live today. So this is going to be classic, it says it down here. And tag team arena unlocks it at level 35. So we don't actually have that yet. So we're just going to go through here, see if there's anything Yeah, we could probably deal with that. So we leveled our Kel up to 40. We got our healer here up to 30, and we almost have our shaman up to max level as well. And then of course our armiger is max level 30 as well. So now all we got to do is just start leveling up some guys to possibly get to 4 stars. That way we can go ahead and get our Kel to a max level of, or to the next rank of 5 stars. Alright, so 1 down. We could probably deal with these guys. Now remember, our gear is designed for us to go first. So we put a lot of speed on our guys because we want them to go first. Let's see. Let's finish him off. Have a seat. That guy right there is a guy that you can get from the campaign, farm from the campaign. He is super good. So we wanted to get rid of him really quickly as well. So we put him on the bench. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, we could probably deal with this too. Mr. Gaelic, we have nothing for you, buddy. And there's Jizzo that we'll get here in a few days. So you're seeing him in action. That stun wasn't very friendly, guys. Sit down, Mr. Gaelic. Sit down, Jizzo. Not sure what these two guys do. That wasn't very friendly at all, now was it? So this guy's a void, so he's not going to be negative or positive to either one of the guys, to any of our guys. But it also means we're not going to be affected by him as well, or he's not going to be affected by us as well. Alright, so that finishes that off. So let's go collect that. We'll deal with more arena later. Now we did get some masteries here. And we did, now what is that? So receive 10 masteries, alright. And then unlock a mastery for any champion. So now we'll go right through here. We want to look that up on Kel. Oh, it went on her. Okay. So it went on one of our random guys here. So these are the masteries. These are just extra things that you can do. Now the important part is you can only have any 2 of these. So either you can get stuff from here and get stuff from here, or here and here, or here and here, that kind of thing. So once you unlock one, then you go to unlock a second one, then it will give you a "Are you sure?" message, because you won't be able to do any in the third. Alright, so this first rank, we're going to go here with her, and we're going to get crit rate. You're always going to do crit rate. No matter what character you're doing, if you're taking them down the offensive tree, this is always going to be your first unlock. Don't make the mistake that I did, which is do the plus to your attack, because it's just a flat plus 25 or 75% to your attack. That's not what you want. You always want to do crit rate. Then you've got your defense tree, which is going to have your defensive skills, defensive abilities, and then you've got your support, which is going to have if you're a healer, or you throw shields up, or you place debuffs. This is where you want this to be. So she is a person who does healing, and she heals, and she throws and she has a debuff that she throws up. So, or she affects anyway the other team. So we want to go down this tree. I don't think we care about her ability to take away a buff this early in the game. So we want her to survive a little. So we're going to go ahead and give her the hit points. Mainly, the other reason is because we want to be able to reach this. Because next turn, you can only get some whenever you open up an ability, you can or pay for an ability. The next thing in line can only be something that is adjacent to it. So that means this one can only reach these three. So to have reached this, I either had to have chosen this skill, or I have to put points into this one so that that one unlocks. Because once this one unlocks, then I can reach these three or that one. Because it can reach those. Now, once you get into this next level, obviously I don't have any more masteries to put in here, but once you get into this level, you and past this level, you when you have the two sections unlocked, each each row of masteries, you can only have one in one side and two in the opposite. So if I chose this healing one over here, but I wanted these two over here, I put the points into these two. I can only buy one from over here, or if I wanted these two, I can only buy one from over here. So just keep that in mind when you're planning out what you're wanting to purchase. And we'll go over them. We'll take a closer look at masteries. We'll do a whole separate video on masteries, so it makes more sense. But let's move on here and see what we got next. Alright, clear stage 1 or higher of the Minotaur Labyrinth 2 times. Alright, so we've already cleared Minotaur a couple of times. I think, didn't we? No, we haven't. Okay, we were saving this. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to go... Whoops, we want Kale to be first, because he's got that cool ability. The HP, the aura up here that gives HP in all battles by 15%. We want to bring him because we want to start leveling him because we like his abilities. We want to bring, we don't. Let's see if we can, we want him too. So these four are about the only ones that we're going to want abilities in, or masteries in for now. So we're going to go ahead and just bring those four because it's random who the masteries land on when it at the end of the fight. So it's going to be random who gets the masteries. So we only want to bring people that we want masteries on. Now, once you actually start leveling up your characters and you get 4 guys that can run the dungeons, especially at in-game, and you get to level 20 Minotaur. Once we get 4 guys that have masteries completely mastered out, then the good part about that is that you just whoever you want to put masteries on, you just put them in the fifth slot, and that way, when you run through the dungeon, that person or that character champion will automatically be the one to gain that mastery. So that's what your target goal is once you master or get to in game with the Minotaur Labyrinth. So we're gonna go ahead and run this one more time because that'll finish our mastery mission. And then we'll move on to the next mission to see where we're at there. So yesterday I did finish a few campaign levels because I wanted to level up these guys, obviously. That's how I got a lot of these guys leveled up, is I grinded out the Dragon Dungeon mainly to gain points in the tournament and to gain gear, to gear these guys that we've unlocked. So that should have... Yep, got us our mission, so more silver for us. And then awesome. So this one, because I already earned 3 stars on every stage of the Karak Castle on normal difficulty. This was the first campaign mission. It automatically unlocks this, see, because it had 21. There's 21 possible stars. I already had those unlocked, so we get some extra energy and some extra silver. All right, now this says campaign mission: win one of each type of life artifact from clearing the Karak Castle on stages on normal. All right, so that one's going to take a little more time, and I rather not have to worry about that on or do all of that. But just to show you where we went, we got all the way to the Palace of Aravia, which is campaign level 6. So that opens up campaign level 7. So that's where we got, and we did it with only 2 characters the whole time. So we got 3 stars in all of that, which also got us all the way to part 3 on this, which takes us all the way to this. So we've gained a lot of extra stuff. So once we get to the final boss here, and we manage to beat him on with only 2 characters, we will have every single thing in this complete and all this extra loot. So, which is always great. And then we'll be able to go to hard and stuff like that, which we can go to those things, but it shows them all locked because you can't do it until you beat normal. So that's where we've gone from there. Let's see, anything else new? Go ahead and open that. And just opening these mystery shards is where I got a couple of those blue character champions, which we could go ahead and show you. So I got a few of these guys close to 20. So as soon as they hit 20, let's see if I feed one of them. This guy, nope, he's almost there. So once they hit 20, we'll feed these guys to them to level them up to rank 3. Oops. And once they get to rank 3, then we'll be able to either level up, rank up Armiger or the War Priest. One of those, get them to 40, so we can get them to 40. He's my primary goal right now. So let's take a look at him. So we looked at Kel's abilities before, where he's got his main attack that has an 80% chance of placing a 2.5% poison for 2 turns. And then this is his big AoE ability, which attacks all enemies, has a 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. If the turn meter of this champion, fill the turn meter of this champion by 25% for each enemy killed. And then his final one, this hits pretty hard too, especially now that we have it almost completely booked up. Once we get one more book in it, it will go down to a 4-turn cooldown, which is fantastic. But it does 4 attacks at random. So if you are just fighting a boss, it will all 4 hits will hit the boss. Or as you've seen in Arena, if there's only one guy standing, it will hit that one guy 4 times. So it hits pretty hard. But it has a 40% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. That's 40% chance for every hit. So, yeah. And then on top of that, with it being booked up, it's up to 50% chance. So there's a good chance that you're going to land at least 2 poisons each turn. All right. And then, of course, we already know about his aura. All right, so this guy, he has an aura as well, which increases critical hit, your ally crit rate in arena battles by 16%. This is the thing that is amazing. Increases damage inflicted by 50% for the first hit on each enemy. So him teamed up with Kel is amazing, because Kel's going to go first because he's got high speed. And when he throws this and hits all of the people out there, and he's doing an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. If he crits, he's doing tons of damage already, and then on top of that, this guy's passive allows him to do 50% more damage the first time he hits. So Kale with this guy is a game changer, especially in arena. Well, he's good. I mean, it's good in dungeons as well for clearing waves. All right, and then he's got this ability which attacks one enemy once he gets his third ascension, which I only need one more here. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Now, early game, this is powerful because everybody gets the shaman, right? Every single person that's in the game for 7 days gets shaman, which is really annoying in arena because she just revives them right up. Well, this guy, if he kills them with this ability, they can't be revived. So her revive ability is totally wasted if this guy is the one that kills them with that ability. And then this ability, which is fantastic because it's an A1, it doesn't have a cooldown. It attacks an enemy 2 times and has a 20% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. This is fantastic. 20% is not a lot, so it's not going to land a lot, but when it does, those stuns probably one of the best debuffs in the game. So it's fantastic as well. So what we're trying to do with him, we're trying to, one, we want to keep him alive, but two, we want to make sure that he lands those debuffs. So we're trying to raise his accuracy, get his accuracy up higher. His crit rate and crit damage are always important, especially for that A2, which when he kills it, blocks revive. So we want to get his crit rate up eventually, and of course we want him to survive. So we're going to be working on his defense and hit points. So currently we have him in a 2-piece immortal set, and I think this was a mistake. I think this was supposed to be a offense set, but I think I must have been out of helmets. Oh, okay, that's why. So I'm going to have to grind up some offense helmets, looks like, so I can get him in an offense set, and then we've got him in an accuracy set to help with the hitting, the landing his stuns if it does proc. And this is going to help him stay alive. The immortal set, which allows him to heal 3% every turn. Now the immortal set was one of the items I got from clearing one of the dungeon levels. Or campaign, sorry, for clearing the campaign levels. So that's where we were at on that. So Arbiter, let's go over his skills real quick. Arbiter. So this is his big one. This skill is fantastic once you get to end game, because early game it doesn't hit that hard because the enemy doesn't have a lot of hit points at early game, so it doesn't scale very well until you get into higher levels. But getting them at low level for purposes of helping clear dungeons is going to help you, and that'll be with his A1, and I'll with some of the dungeons, and that'll be his A1, and I'll explain that in just a second. But we got attacks one enemy. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense and increases according to enemy max hit points. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. So this is going to help you in a few of the dungeons, like Ice Golem, because the block revive is going to help kill the minions for the Ice Golem, and he won't be able to regen. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll be doing a introductory video on Ice Golem here shortly, so be on the lookout for that, and it'll make more sense then. But keep in mind, it starts out with his defense, so it's based off of his defense score, and then it scales based on enemy max HP. Okay, so it's a number thing, but like I said, once you get into higher levels, that's going to make a big difference. But here's the big one. Here's the one that's really important. He attacks one enemy, but it decreases the turn meter by 30% if this attack is critical. Damage inflicted is proportional to defense. So again, based off of defense. But this is the important one. If it's critical, so we got to make sure his crit is high. Well, obviously it's not going to work now. But once he gets the higher level, max level, we need that critical to be 100% because we want their turn meter to drop by 30%. If he's got a high speed, high crit, and of course, again from our last video we were talking about accuracy. If he crits, then it's based off of accuracy versus their resistance to drop that by 30%. So he still needs a high accuracy for this, guys. So keep that in mind. But if he does that, that will help you with spiders. Or not spider, sorry. It will help. Yeah, it will. Sorry. It'll help you with spider. It will help you with ice golem, because ice golem's turn meter is affected by this. And it will also help you with the fire knight. So those three are probably the toughest when it comes to dealing with those dungeon bosses, and he will help you with all three when it comes to decreasing turn meter. All right, so if you notice, he's got a book here, and I told you before, don't use blue books on greens. This is absolutely right. So what happened here is I pulled another Arbiter, and so what I did is I fed him to him as a book. Because if you pull a duplicate of a character, you can use them as a book instead of using an actual book. So keep that in mind. All right. Other than that, we just got him in the gear that we're pulling. As we're getting better gear, we're upgrading that gear. So that's where we're at there. If you haven't gone over War Priest, her A3 places a 25% increase attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. Her A2 is a heal that heals a target ally by 20% on their max HP. Heals if you ascend her by 3, it heals a target ally by 20% of their max HP. Heals all allies except the target by 10% of the target's max HP. So it does 2 separate heals. All right, if you ascend it, so really good. Let's see, and then her A1 is attacks one enemy, has a 15% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. This is really good, really good. And got to make sure that her accuracy is up, guys. That's going to be based off accuracy. So will proc only so often because 15%. It will book up to 25% if you put books into her. But even at 25%, so 1 out of every 4 hits is going to free someone as long as her accuracy is up. All right, and then last but not least, we're using Shaman, which has a defense aura and faction crypts, a revive an ally with 25% of their max hit points, places a shield buff on that target equal to 20% of that target's HP. If you ascend her, she will revive them with 25 or with 50% HP with the shield as well. So, and that drops down to a 5 turn if you book her. I wouldn't necessarily suggest booking her because you'll want those books later when you get better epics. On this one, it's attacks one enemy, places a 15% increased crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is great with Kel because this allows Kel to get his crit rate up. It will also help with Arbiter because of his ability to drop turn meter with as long as he crits. And this hits pretty hard, by the way, too. So there's a lot of numbers that each character has its own, or each champion has its own number that's done on the back end. Someone's done the research on it and the data dump or whatever it's called, to find out what these numbers are. This one hits really hard. And then attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of removing one random buff from the target. This is one I was telling you about that she needs accuracy for. But I mean, this happens so very infrequently that I don't really worry about that. That's one less stat I have to worry about if I don't worry about that, because that's not what she's here for. She's here to revive, but she can actually do some damage too, because she's got some pretty good numbers when multipliers when it comes to her damage. So, but we've got her in some speed and attack sets. So, but yeah, so that's who we're using right now. This guy we went ahead and leveled up. He's a reser as well, but we're not keeping him because we knew we were getting Shaman. Shaman I think is going to be slightly better than him. So what we did is we leveled him up to 30. Once we get a couple more people up to 30, we're going to feed them to him to make him level 40, and we're going to keep him at or make him 4-star, level 1 4-star. And then once we get 4 of those, we're going to feed them to Kale to make him a 5-star, rank 5-star. So, but that's where we're at right now. I'm going to go ahead and get at it and get to these next missions. Again, one other thing we wanted to take a look at. We do have 72 points here. So one of the missions, or the missions coming up, they're going to be to increase the attack of all these. So what you might want to do when you first get your, say, arena challenge, once you get these taken care of and these all the way leveled 1, I think there's going to be one that needs it to level 4, I think, one of the quests. But once you get those quests out of the way, the first thing you want to start doing is doing your accuracy. Accuracy is, in my opinion, the most important to level up, because one of your missions is going to have or is going to be to get one of these to level 10. It's going to be one to level 6 and then one to level 10. So what I did with my main account is I just started grinding out this one. So as you're doing, and this is one of the reasons why you wanted to start doing arena from the very start and just hit and refresh every time you came into the game, because you're gonna, being free to play, you want to level your Great Hall as much as possible, because being free to play, your Great Hall is the most important thing that you will want upgraded, because it's the one thing that you can count on being free to play, because your resources are so low. You can count on the fact that you're constantly gaining resources, bronze, silver, and gold, depending on what tier you're in the arena. You're constantly gaining those resources by just fighting battles, and then once you buy something, it's permanent. You cannot go back and change it. That is a problem there, is that you can't go back and change it. But that's why I'm telling you now, do accuracy, and I would probably do 1 all the way to 10, and by the time you get here, hopefully you'll have a character that you really enjoy, and you plan on using. So anything done in this line is going to be for all your magic characters. This one is going to be for all your spirit. This one's going to be for all your force, and this one's going to be for all your void. So depending on what character you have and what you're really enjoying playing, you're going to want to put your points into that section. I wouldn't neglect the rest of them, because you'll eventually get characters you really enjoy in all of them. But what you'll want to do is when you finally do get a character you really enjoy, that's where you're going to want to put all your points. But other than that, guys, I do appreciate you. If there's anything else that you guys want to see, just leave it in the comments. I would appreciate any kind of likes or subs, and I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you. Bye.